direct from the middle of nowhere to the center of everywhere. It's Beneath the Surface with Sean Murphy and Corey Cooper.
All right, this is going to be either very epic or a dumpster fire. Those are the two options.
I think it's going to be a dumpster fire, similar to the trip.
Well, the trip was a dumpster fire, so why should the podcast not?
Well,
What part?
so welcome to another episode of Beneath the Surface. This one should be epic. If it's a dumpster fire, I blame you, because the amount of content that we've got for what we're about to talk about is it's insane. Yeah. So I'll just jump right to it, man. We're actually talking about today. We're joined by me. Well, I'm not joined by myself, but I'm here hosting the podcast. Starting to the far right, Sean Murphy, our photographer. You guys, everybody knows Mr. Pete Bazzelli, Simple Pete.
Hey.
The wonder of the Darkroom show. Right here, sitting right next to me is Mr. Dave Hugar, our Chief Digital Officer. He's very tiny on a little cell phone screen here. We're bringing some real technology wizardry to the thing today. And then Mr. Tyler Trant right here on my left. This is like 4/5 of the Kentucky trip.
We're missing other Corey.
We're missing Corey. We're missing Logan.
Oh yeah, Logan.
Oh, man.
Is that it?
That's it.
So,
He's a big part.
yeah, we'll just get it set real quick, and then we'll dive into the goodies. This was a 7-8 man trip. Was it 7 or 8?
4 riders.
Okay, hold on. How many total people? Was it 7? Okay. 7 people going on this trip that we're about to describe to Kentucky. This was a motorcycle trip, right? So that's what you're tuned in today to hear about, is this crazy thing that we did. And if you want to hear about carnage, terrible planning, getting yourself in places you shouldn't go to, just all of that kind of stuff, you've came to the right place, right?
And we're not talking about the Everglades.
No, we're not talking about the
Okay.
Everglades. So this is the way that I've framed this in the last few people that I've talked to. I'll start it off by saying Pete and I and a lot of other people really like motorcycles, right? We've done a lot of different things on motorcycles. You've ridden motorcycles for 1,000 years almost.
Almost.
You know,
Yeah.
combined. I rode a lot younger, a little bit, kind of midlife. Not so much since I've had my kids, but dabble in it on my farm, riding motocross stuff or whatever. Dave, ridden basically all street bikes. And then Sean and Tyler were just there to kind of document and film it. And then we had one other guy, Corey Benton, friend of mine, that's also got some experience on motorcycles that went with us. But the way this thing all came about, I think it was last November or last October. This would be October of 2021, right? You call me or I run into you. I can't remember which one it was. I mean, it was out on a phone or something else. You're like, hey, listen, man, listen. I'm going to go do this Kentucky adventure tour in Kentucky. I had no idea what you're talking about.
That's exactly what are you talking about?
I'm like, I don't. What are you talking about, dude? And you're like, yeah, this badass. Go ahead, describe it how you described it to me. I want to hear it again.
I said, hey man, it's just 1,000 miles off road around Kentucky. We go into 4 different states on dirt bikes.
Yeah, no, that's exactly not how it came
That's how I
across.
sold you into it.
No. You said, hey man, because I was watching. I was just finishing watching up the Ewan McGregor series.
That's how it came about.
Yeah,
You said something about
I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the one where they tried to do it on electric
on the
Harleys.
electric Harley. Yeah.
Made it ridiculously insane, trying to do it on electric motorcycles. But I don't think it was on a long way up. I think it was on a long way down or something, like the first one at the time. And you're like, yeah, man, we're gonna go do one of those around Kentucky. This thing called Kentucky Adventure Tour. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I was like, well, when do you want to go? And you're like, well, if we go between the next 6 months, it's gonna be real wet, and so we want to wait till it kind of dries out a little bit. That was it.
Yep.
That
That's
was
all
extent.
the planning we did. Pretty
So
much.
that was it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, well, those guys ride Harleys or BMWs on the road. You know what I mean? And they'll go off road. Every now and then they'll get the tires a bit muddy and then they get back on the road. There might be like a baby section of some hard shit that they go through and then that's it. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time kind of setting the stage here. So 5 months goes by. right? That was it. I had that little nug planted. 5 months goes by, and as we start getting close, I asked my friend Corey Benton if he wants to go, and then Dave Hugar if he wants to go. So that would be 4 of us, right? 4 riders. And we're about, I don't know, a month out, 3 weeks out. We don't have, Dave doesn't have a motorcycle. Corey has just bought one, hasn't ridden
Just
it
for
yet.
this trip.
Just ridden it just for this trip. We have no gear, none of this stuff, because we're thinking this is going to be like a pleasure cruise, right? Like a road cruise.
Yeah.
And I start researching Kentucky Adventure Tour, okay, on the computer. And everything I see, it's basically enduro riding times 2. And for those of you that don't know what enduro riding is, Pete, what in the hell is enduro riding?
Enduro riding is a cross between a dirt bike and a street bike. It's on an off-road frame, but they change the bike up gearing and stuff to make it where you can ride it in the dirt. But that's not what we did.
No.
You left that part out.
No, we haven't done anything yet. I'm talking about like research.
Oh.
So you bought
My bike, your
Yeah.
bike.
Me a bike. Well, you didn't pay for it. You bought it with my money. You volunteered up a Honda CB500X, and when you Google Honda CB500X and you see the pictures of it, it looks like a street bike
It is a street bike.
because it's a street bike. You had a Honda CB500X, which is a street bike. Corey bought a KTM 390, which is a street bike.
Right.
Right? Everything I see on Google and YouTube is dirt bike mud riding. You know what I mean? So I start slightly panicking a little bit going into this.
Yeah, your first, as we got closer, you did kind of freak out a little bit.
What?
You're like, we're doing this on street bikes. No, they're adventure bikes. A little different.
They weren't adventure bikes, Pete.
They were not made to do what we did on them.
No. So we all prepare. We're about a week out. We're getting our gear. We've got hodgepodge gear, man. We kind of grab gear, all over the place. You get all the motorcycles ready. We still don't know what we're doing. Describe kind of the loading process and everything we took with us up to Kentucky.
Oh, dude, you got to also describe like when we went to the warehouse just to look at all of your gear. That's like one of my favorite parts of this.
Well,
Dave had a pair of work gloves, bubble helmet, some hipster bubble helmet, and a pair of work gloves from Home Depot.
Dave, describe Pete's.
Go
You
ahead and
describe Pete's.
it from your view.
Yeah, describe Pete's gear.
I mean, I know that we all had questions about the type of gear we should be bringing. So we asked Pete to kind of like lay out all of his gear so all of the riders can come by and take a look. As we showed up, like just walking into the warehouse, there's just so much shit laying on the table that it looks like you just like was thrift shopping for like 20 years.
I mean, half of it was battered, ratty, and
It looked like an estate.
That was about-
an estate sale.
Yeah, there was
basically.
probably stuff I've had for over 30 years in there that I've used out in Colorado or different places, but
describe the bikes. So you had your gear. You knew what you were getting into. The rest of us had no clue.
oh, I had no idea. I didn't sucker anybody into this.
Yeah, you did. So what were your thoughts? You on the bikes you picked out that you had everybody pick out the gear. Give us set the stage here,
Well,
buddy.
How about the prank you did on Dave?
Not yet. That's
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. And I didn't do it. That was Corey. That was Corey Cooper, not Corey Benton. But the bikes, the reason I picked that bike is I want to do the Trans-America Trail is my eventual goal, which is from North Carolina to Oregon, 6,800 miles off-road. And so that's kind of what was in my mind. And I figured, well, these guys don't know what they're doing. I'll sell them onto this street bike thing and just kind of see what happens. So we got a CB500X, did all the mods to it that we could do to make it a little more friendly off-road. Had no idea how off-road we were going to be. And then, of course, I sucked Corey Cooper into buying the same bike and did the same stuff to it. And
After I started researching my Pete, we need freaking dirt bikes, dude. We need dirt bikes. So your compromise was, all right, we'll take 2 extra bikes in the trailer with us up to Kentucky.
ha ha ha. Neither one of them ran, but we had them with us.
Dude, it was my Honda. It was a Honda race bike, a 250.
A 250F.
Yeah. And then your XR from the 90s. Your Honda XR from the 90s.
650L.
650L from the 90s.
Which either one of those bikes probably would have been better than what we rode.
Yes. No doubt. So you had a trailer full of, I think you only had, when we loaded up, we had my bike, Corey's bike, your bike, and those 2 extra bikes.
Right.
Dave was planning on riding one of the extra
extra
bikes. And you didn't even care. You just said right now they didn't even run. So I'm not even quite sure the planning for this.
There was no planning. Come on. So that leaves us to Dave's bike. Do we want to talk about that yet?
Well, no, because so we're the way we planned to get up there was you and Logan were gonna drive the trailer up to Kentucky.
Right.
Again, the pre-planning was very minimal. We didn't really have hotels. You had this grand scheme of this 1,200-mile loop around Kentucky that we were gonna do and have these different stops. None of the stops were planned. We had no idea how we were gonna read a map. We had a GPS that was on your phone that nobody really practiced using.
Does anyone even still know like how to work it? Like I still don't know how to work the map.
I didn't touch a GPS the whole entire time I was there.
No, we faked it. I mean, the
I
whole
thought
mapping of the
Logan
trail.
was the only one that knew how, because I was getting directions from Logan, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna go through here."
Yeah,
and you
Logan
see this.
was the smartest
And then Sean was like, "Where are we going?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Just follow this green line."
And if anyone's seen Deliverance, no one took into consideration that the factor of like when you're down these back roads, you run into some people that
Those are my people.
it was, dude, they're not even. I mean, I thought you were pretty backwoods. There's
Yeah,
a
we're-
couple of that look like 300-pound babies, and they were driving. What are those cars?
Oh, the
Bonnevilles?
HHRs?
PT Cruisers, and
Yeah.
carrying around children's lost iPhones and wanting to do bad things to Dave behind a church. Like it was just constant. It was constant
Velcro
fear.
shoes.
And the only ones that didn't have guns were Tyler and me.
Because you guys were in the truck.
You just jump right into the middle of the story without getting up there.
Sorry.
Yeah. Come on, easy.
We just lost Dave. You're back. So Pete, you and Logan loaded up a trailer. We all said goodbye to our friends and family because we had no idea what we were getting into. Didn't even know where we were gonna be staying that night. You and Logan went up a day early, and you call us, and you're like, "Oh man, it's gonna be so badass."
I was like, it's all roads, and we figured the GPS out. There's no Google Maps for off-road, so we had kind of a sketchy off-road Gaia, I think is the app we
Yeah,
used.
I think you used Garmin, didn't you, or
It was
something?
Garmin, yeah.
Okay, Gaia. Then we couldn't work it, and then we went to Garmin.
So you guys got there a day early to kind of go assess the situation.
So we
the bikes unloaded.
We unloaded a couple bikes, and we rode around and kind of got the lay of the land. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy.
Yeah.
It was 75 and sunny and beautiful.
You got the only nice day on the test drive.
The only nice day.
We were in the car. Yeah, 75 and sunny. We're in the car. We're driving up, right? You've got all our gear. I think we piled our clothes and stuff into Corey's truck. At least me and Dave and rode with Corey on the way up. You and Logan were already there. You guys, I think, were right behind us. Not about 45 minutes. Driving from Destin up to Jellicoe, Tennessee.
Jellicoe.
Was spot one. Jellicoe, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And what's in Jellicoe, Tennessee?
I'm not quite sure.
7-Eleven and a pizza shop.
There was 3 teeth and
And
pizza
two last
place.
names. Yeah.
You said it best when you said Jellicoe ain't in Jellicoe.
Yeah, it was kind of sketchy when we whipped in that town.
Man, we're on the way up. We're in the car. We're in the car after buying a bunch of these energy drinks and 5-hour energies, and I was chugging True North and stuff. This is a new drink that I found in a gas station on the way up. It's pretty highlight of the trip, by the way. But so Dave gets all hyped up. We're going up, and Pete calls me. I finally get a hold of Pete, and he's like, "Man, Dave was badass." Blah blah blah. I go, "Hey Pete, how far away is the nearest motorcycle shop?"
I was like, what?
You're like, what are you talking about? At this point, Dave still doesn't have a bike yet. So you're like, oh, I think there's one.
We just came through a town, Middleton, I believe. is-
Yeah.
Middleton, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And because I think we'd been in Kentucky a little bit that day, and I said, it was only a couple miles back. Let me go back and check it out. And then it happened.
What happened? Tell us what.
Well,
The crazy thing too is on like the way up, like it wasn't my intention to buy a motorcycle for this trip. Like somehow it took
what
very
was your
little.
intention, Dave?
Yeah.
What the hell were you thinking? You were going on
I
a
was just gonna
motorcycle
ride
trip
that
without a
dirt bike.
motorcycle.
Like it took little to no effort to convince me like it was a good idea to go buy a brand new motorcycle for this trip. The fucking terrible
And
decision on my
I can only
part.
imagine what Corey Cooper did in that truck.
Oh, I got video. I
That's
filmed.
100%
He recorded
Corey.
it.
Did I send it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've got the video of him on the call with the sales guy. Why are you laughing, Pete?
Because we whipped into that dealership, full gear, full riding gear. I mean, pants, jackets, and we're stripping backpacks, tool bags, and they actually came out on their little front porch and like, what the heck are these guys doing? We walk in and say, hey, you got any on-off-road bikes? And they wouldn't even talk to us at first. And sure enough, they had 3 of those beauties sitting on the floor.
What'd they have, man?
They had little Kawasaki's, small, light, very flickable, the heaviest, worst motorcycle ever built, sitting on the floor. And somehow,
Wait a second, Pete. Hold on. What did they have?
the KLR
KLR.
650s,
And how did you describe them?
The worst ever made.
the worst off-road motorcycle ever built. That I don't know. It was heavier than our bikes, and no tires on it.
The tires were like 10-speed tires.
Yeah, but you called Pete. You said I got the perfect bike. You told Dave it was the perfect bike.
Well, at that point, I knew what was going on. I know you'd already planted the seed. And we had them on the line. You just needed to set the hook.
And in the background on the phone, I can hear Pete. I can hear the dealer talking to him, and Pete's basically telling him that price isn't an option. Don't worry about it. So he's like, Pete's negotiating the deal for me on my behalf.
Price is no option.
So Pete picked you out a bike that was, according to him, the worst bike made ever,
To do what we did, yeah.
and signed you up for the
I'm
highest price.
allowing it. Like, dude, and I'm allowing this to happen.
And I get the whole thing on video, dude. I remember just telling Pete, I was like, all right, man, go back and get the truck. We're gonna be late. You had to drive back to Jellicoe to get the truck.
And that actually was adrenaline was flowing.
Oh, yeah.
We went over that mountain. I mean, we made it back in like 45
You were excited,
minutes.
dude.
Yeah. I was like,
You were
this
so
is-
excited to get this motorcycle.
may be the dumbest thing I've been involved with in a while. I said, I can't wait to get
Dude,
back.
we roll up to the dealership. It's probably 7 o'clock at night. It's a little early now, about 5 o'clock. It's right on
No,
the
it was-
dusk.
They were getting ready to close at 6. So
We told Tyler and Sean not to come, even though it would have been badass to record this and have video of this. But you guys are too far behind. But we show up, the bike's sitting outside. They've gassed it up. It's got these.
we were in the truck. By the time
The bike was in the truck. It's got all these things. I look over to Pete and I go, Pete, you think Dave's gonna be able to make it on this bike? And you're like, no.
You and Corey Benton said, hey, what's the chance of him making it? None.
And this,
Of course, I didn't know Dave's riding ability at all. I'm assuming that he's never ridden a motorcycle at that point.
so you allowed him to buy this on a trip that you were the guide.
Now, hold on a minute. There was more than one of us involved with this.
Yeah, but remember, I had no clue what we were doing.
Neither did I.
Oh, okay,
I'm innocent, Dave. I didn't do this on purpose.
I like how you allowed me to buy the motorcycle and go on the trip with like not ever thinking that I rode a motorcycle before.
How much was that motorcycle?
10 grand.
10 grand. That's an expensive joke. Good friends. Good friends.
It's a tough crowd.
Well, I'll tell you the first thing we did when we got the bike back, we started taking parts off it. Well, he's going to break this. We don't need this. That's expensive. Take that off. And we took a lot of. I was telling Logan that we were taking weight off the bike. We were just taking stuff off he was going to break.
Oh man, dude! And we went ate a pizza place, got back to the hotel. We had to wire all of our helmets up, with the intercoms. The only persons that ended up working for the first few days was me and Corey talking to each other. Went to sleep the first night in preparation to get up for your Hell Week the next day. And then we got up at like 5 a.m. to get ready to go. Still had no clue where the fuck we were going, and just woke up inside of a nice hotel in Jellicoe, Tennessee, and then walked outside, and it was 35 degrees. Snowing, raining, sleeting.
Perfect weather. Perfect weather.
Yeah, paint the first day. This for the first day, by the way, was if you could envision like total hell and torture. That was the first day.
It wasn't too bad getting out of the parking lot. It was all right till we got to the gas station.
And then it
We
started.
had to take our gear back off to fuel the bikes up to get back on the road. And then I was like, oh, this is not going to be much
But
fun.
Pete, you're the guy that organized this. I don't understand.
There was
Like,
no organizing this.
so you just volunteered all of us to go up into this.
Yeah, I needed someone to go with me, so we sold it to you guys, and you bought it. So
So we're all four of us are all dressed up. We're wearing 5 million layers of clothes. We feel like the Marshmallow, the Michelin Man. It's freezing
everybody
cold.
had tool bags and backpacks.
Backpacks.
Because we had no idea what we were getting into.
So much shit on these road bikes, and I'm like, Pete, do you know what the day's gonna look like? You have any idea where we're going? He's like, got no idea, man. We're just going. And
We're gonna go that way.
yeah, we're going, and we hit. Finally, we get to what I think is the Kentucky Adventure Tour, and it's gravel road. So we're hauling ass on this gravel road. You guys are following. I think you guys are following behind us. We're an hour into this trip, and then I look behind me. Pete stops. Corey stops. I look behind me. There's nobody behind me. So we get down and we're waiting for 10 minutes, and Pete's like, "Oh shit, I gotta go get somebody." 10-minute hour in, Dave, you'd already eaten shit.
Dave fell 3 minutes into the trip.
That was the most painful fall of the entire trip for me. That was like the full-on scorpion.
Yeah.
Did y'all see it? Did you see it?
No, we were right behind.
We were
him.
right behind him. He
Dude.
had just ducked around a corner, and we came. We were just like, we came up, and Dave's like getting up off the ground.
For the first of 100.
I mean, up until then, it was like a nice, peaceful ride on a gravel road. I'm just enjoying the scenery, having a good time. And then turn around that corner on that really, what was it, Pete? Like that big ass gravel.
It was a number 3 limestone. It was like bowling balls.
All I remember was you come back around the corner. Pete comes with you. You got a scratch across your helmet. Your hands are bleeding. Your gardening gloves. You didn't have.
Those are actual motorcycle gloves.
You didn't have.
Yeah.
You didn't have boots on. You had shoes on.
Vans.
Yeah, the
No, the best part about dude, the best part about this is I had adventure riding boots, and I was like, man, I looked at other Corey, and I was like, do I really need to wear these? And he told me to wear them, and I was like, I don't really think it's necessary. I thought we were going to be doing a lot of like road riding, so I chose not to wear the adventure boots that day, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Bad decisions.
As
That's
it
what the
turned
trip
out,
should have been called.
poor decisions.
Poor decisions. These dudes come rolling by us after we're stopped. They're in their 4-wheelers. Hey man, you guys know where to go camping? They got 4-wheelers and shit.
The kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're standing there, and we're like, man, certainly this doesn't get any worse. About another, 30 minutes from that point is when it just,
That's when we hit the water.
It
was
completely
water.
goes to
It was
hell.
Non-stop water. And I'm in my new truck, just destroying
we
it.
hit mud road, and you're in the lead. It's like mud riding. We're in street bikes, going through this shit. Sean, you and Tyler, you're just giving your truck hell. It's going through mud pits, jumping over ditches. I think Tyler, right off the bat, you catch him eating shit. Then Dave
Well,
eating
that's because
shit.
we just saw the trail continually getting worse, and
Worse.
we're like, let us get in front of you and start filming stuff. And that's when we went through that one long puddle.
Yeah.
And Pete
Everyone fell.
Everyone fell. It was a chain reaction, just staring down this puddle. And Pete dives off into the woods.
Pete was the worst. Pete's going so fast through this. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I noticed, and I'm a non-motorcycle rider. I'm like, wouldn't it be smart to like send someone in with like a stick and
Oh, yeah,
see
that's
like
what I was
how
thinking.
deep this shit
You
is?
need to check to
is
see
there
how deep it
are there
is.
some boulders or anything? It's like chocolate
Logs.
Nope. Pete's like, just go, man. And
Pete's
Pete
like, you
Pete's
gotta pin it.
hydroplaning, hits a log or something.
No, that was me.
blinks.
Hold on. Pete goes off and goes to the side and falls, and I'm like, screw it. This is the one long ass puddle. I just jump up on the pegs, just go through it, hit a fucking rock right in the middle, 30 miles an hour, get slung off. You got it on video. I hit my hip on a
Oh, I got a
boulder.
picture of that. Yeah, you doing a
Dude, I
swan
had
dive.
to go to the doctor when I got back. I thought I broke my hip from landing into that. We're 2 hours in.
Yeah, 2 hours in.
I've almost broken a hip. Everybody's bike is crashed. Dave's bike is almost totaled at this point.
I was sweating. Our truck was so
Your
hot
truck was
on the
almost
inside.
destroyed.
It
We're
was 35.
It was 35 outside, but it was 82
It's
inside.
raining. So we go past. It's like we're another hour into this little trip of this day, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how much more of this I can take. This mud riding. If this is gonna be a week, I'm gonna be shot. We go across this creek, down this giant. I mean, it was like literally a vertical, straight down, across and up. And I'm like, man, I don't know if we're still on the trail, Pete. This can't be the right side of the trail. We go about another, let's call it 100 yards, and it's pretty rocky. I mean, imagine.
Oh no, that's where we regrouped right there, and we're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Pete. Like, do you think this is gonna get any worse? Because it was that big ravine, and
Yeah.
Pete's like,
Nah, this
man.
is the worst of
This
it,
is the
man.
worst
It's getting
of it.
better now.
Yeah,
I think I see asphalt up ahead. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, and the whole time with Pete, how far to the road? Oh man, I right up the corner. It looks like it's about 600 yards from here or something. Sweet, you guys truck basically get in this ravine, and you're basically stuck, in this ravine. And we go another 100 yards. And I'm like, somebody's got to tell Sean because I can see what's up ahead, And he's like, all right, well, I'll go tell Sean to turn around. So you guys, I think y'all turn around right here on the precipice of the Mount Everest.
well, we started up, and that's when
I
Dave
went
went
up.
down.
Dave went down 30 times in
Not-
about
yeah.
4 feet.
We hit this after you guys turn around. It's straight up. I mean, it's like a vertical 25-degree climb.
Slippery.
I'm probably worse than that, isn't it, Dave?
It was a creek bed it was a vertical creek bed. I still don't know if it was the trail. I think we just
It couldn't be. It's a vertical creek bed, nothing but boulders. I mean, going straight up, half a mile. I mean,
That was more of a goat path.
Pete, you get up at first. I'm right behind you. It takes us about 10 minutes.
Yeah, because I stopped to make sure I was being followed.
Yeah.
And I made it to the top.
We
took
make
all
it.
my-
Me and Corey then kind of make it about 2 minutes behind you up to the top. 3 minutes behind you up to the top. My hips are broken. My knees. I got sweating in this gear. I mean, it was a fucking nightmare.
Now it's still 30 degrees out. And we're sweating.
Still 30 degrees outside.
And we're
in
getting ready
street
to
bikes.
take an hour break.
We're in street bikes, and we're about to take an hour break. And in this
More-
hour break,
4 hour, yeah.
Dave is still at the bottom of this mountain. And you walk down to the bottom of the mountain. Look, what's the story?
That hill climb was about a mile.
Yeah, it was.
It was about a mile. And so I go back down, and Tyler and Sean are trying to help Dave. He's kind of got a little crooked on the trail and stepped off his bike.
on his KLR.
Yeah. And
my 500-pound KLR.
so I go, hey guys, this is where you guys need to turn around, and we'll meet, somewhere on the other side of this. It's getting pretty bad up there. And so Sean thought, okay. Dave said, nope, I'm going to the top. I'm like, player, I like this. Well, about 4 hours later, I wasn't loving Dave too much.
You basically carried that bike up the
Thank
the
God
mountain.
Corey Benton came back down that hill. But the three of us, we got him up there. He was determined. He was not turning around.
Man.
And about halfway up, I was like, this joke is not very funny anymore.
Yeah, the joke was on you with the
Yes.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
Man, we didn't get any of that on film from you.
No.
We got some cell phone footage.
You got GoPro.
You got some GoPro. I think Corey Benton had some.
And the footage doesn't do the elevation.
Oh
any
my God,
justice.
dude. I mean, we were falling off left and right. I
Yeah,
almost
you
fell. I
couldn't-
almost
you
fell
couldn't-
off the side of a cliff.
Yeah.
You almost broke your leg. Got pinned underneath the bike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dave dropped his bike 500 times.
Yeah.
We finally get to the top of this peak, like literally 4 hours later, and
Yeah, it was 4 hours.
snowing. The wind's blowing. It looks like you're in Utah in a blizzard.
It did look very Utah-ish.
And we're driving, and every 5 seconds we look behind us. Dave's not there anymore. You know what I mean? Dave is falling down, and we get to one spot, and after just nightmare, I get off and park. Wait 5 minutes. Dave's not there. I walk back up the trail, and Dave had gotten pinned underneath his bike right on the edge of a puddle. And he gets okay, it was a pond. So he gets up on a bike and he starts going, and we realize why he was falling. His front tire was flat because you let all the air out of his tire.
Right.
And so Dave, so we're on the top of a mountain. Why did you do that?
Just so his front end would stop sliding. I figured I'd let a little air out. He let the rest out. Him and that rocky hit.
God, dude. So here we are on the top of a mountain. 4 hours later, we don't know where we're going. We have no cell service. Dave's got a flat tire on the top of a mountain. You know what I mean? And
Right.
we're in the middle of nowhere. We had a
And we
slight
didn't know
panic.
at the time. Logan had tracked me on the phone. He could actually see us. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys could see where we're at,
could see
and we
where you're
weren't
at.
moving.
Yeah,
For a
because he
long
was
time.
like, I don't.
We
'cause-
thought someone was dead. Logan's like, they haven't moved in like 4 hours.
Yeah, he was like, it's been hours and they haven't moved. And meanwhile, me and Sean and Logan are sitting in a
Eating
parking lot
chips.
eating chips, and it's just
In your air
snowing.
conditioning.
And our heater.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's
heater.
just
Very warm.
snowing, and we're like, man, are they still there? Like, are they alive? Is somebody dead?
Oh my God, I'm having flashbacks to this, man. Like, dude,
PTSD.
this was like misery.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
You're leading up to the
So we got okay.
Deliverance.
You want to get to that scene?
the
So
Chomo.
so here's the scene. So we convinced Dave to ride his flat tire motorcycle down the backside of a mountain.
After we couldn't take the motorcycle.
Yeah, we tried to take it apart. We've got a video. You've got to insert this in the video. I'm trying to sell Dave's bike on the top of the mountain. Yeah, make this little video. Never been used. Slightly 40 miles, one owner, and the thing was destroyed. I mean,
By the way, whoever's listening, that bike is still for sale.
you don't want it. You don't want it. Run.
Hey,
Any damage on it will buff right out.
So we convinced Dave to go down this mountain because we had to. Another option. Go down this mountain. We finally, I mean, it's pouring rain. We get down this mountain. We're only 6 miles into this entire trip so far. Dave, we got to leave you here, dude. You know, we got to go. We got to go find Logan. Logan with the trailer. We got to go. So we leave you, Dave. Talk about it. We left you. Where'd we leave you?
You left me a gun.
No, where? Where do we leave you?
We basically found this little church that was on an intersection of this kind of dirt gravel road, and there was a little patio area that I was able to take shelter in. There was an old fire pit behind this church, so I just decided to go around and gather up some wood and start a fire so that I could warm myself up. Because at this point in time, we've been sitting in the snow and in the rain. I was just like drenched and just incredibly wet and cold. So I was like, oh, just, hang out here, hang out by this fire and just wait until they get back, thinking that I'd be there for a couple hours.
Yeah, we ended up getting back. We found Logan about an hour?
Yeah, well, less than an hour.
There and back, and
They kind of saw us moving, and they started coming towards us.
And then we made it back over. We got Logan, made it back to go pick up Dave. That's when Sean's best friend showed up on the scene. What was up with that?
dude.
Said it.
relatives.
Still have nightmares about it. So this guy comes up. Okay, someone finds a little girl's iPhone in the mud on the thing. In the church patio. Then this guy pulls up in a PT Cruiser. He goes, hey. He looks like a giant baby.
He looks like the dude from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. At the beginning, Full Metal. He goes, hey, whoa,
Gomer Pyle.
whoa, what are you guys doing here? And we're like,
He had Velcro
blah, blah, blah.
shoes.
We wrecked. And this dude over here at the Mohawk is back here lighting fire. You need to show me what you've been up to. And then Dave walked him back, and then I proceeded to go, I'm going to give the guy this little girl's iPhone that I just found. I gave him the iPhone. He looked surprised, like, oops, I've been caught. You know what I mean? Like, where's the girl? And anyway, it was a bad scene. And then he goes, maybe you guys want to come back tomorrow for church service. I was like, nope, that's a hard
I thought
no,
the guy
pal.
got aggro with you guys.
He did. He got a little
tried to.
fired up,
Yeah, he got
little puffed up.
I stayed away. I
kept
stayed in
asking
the front of the car.
What we were doing, why we were there. He had Dave walk him through how he made a fire about 4 times.
We were in the crosshairs of some other dudes in the woods, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there-
it was about, they were sizing us up.
That woman came running
A
out.
woman
Oh,
came
yeah.
It was like velociraptors. You don't
Yeah.
see them. They're in the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
Just hanging
Man,
out.
what you doing down here with that mohawk, boy? You look pretty.
You sure do got a purty mouth.
So we got out of that adventure with that guy, and we had to drive back to the next spot. And I'll do my best to kind of speed up because his first day was just
The most eventful.
Is this the one where the guy with the colostomy was standing on his own colostomy bag
where at the hotel room.
on the side of the road? That was hitchhiking, standing on his own colostomy bag.
Dude.
And then the little girl that we thought was an adult we thought it was a little
That was
girl,
a
but it was
couple
an
days
adult.
later.
That was a
on
couple
meth-
days
on
later.
Yeah, that
meth? Okay, never mind.
That was a couple days in. I don't know if you want to split it into first and
You're
second.
gonna have to.
or,
There's
you
just
know,
Oh
too
yeah,
much.
there's way too much.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter, just skip around highlights.
We'll do some highlights. So the day one was really the most brutal, dumbass day, and it really highlighted how completely unprepared we were for this trip. I mean, we get done with that Dave's shenanigans. We have to drive an hour and a half to the hotel to make it by nightfall. In the rain, soaking wet after doing this all day long. Hop on the road. So we're doing road driving at this point to get to the hotel.
Because we
Find a
had
Mexican-
street bikes.
We had street bikes. We should have been on the road the whole time. Get back to where we're at in the hotel, and there's some little, crummy Mexican restaurant that we go in and take a few shots of tequila. you know, kind of take the edge off.
Is this one with the DJ?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't.
No. But then we had to wake up the next morning in another crappy hotel. Dave still didn't have a front tire. You know, we were getting ready for the next day.
Oh, Pete and Logan
Yeah,
put
we-
Dave's bike back together.
We got up and found enough tools to take it apart to fix the tire. We had the tubes. We just didn't have
Zip
the
ties and duct tape.
Dave was in the hotel room in the warm air. You were.
Yeah.
Which I forgot, like, which, you know, like, I appreciate, but you forgot to bleed it out. So, like, when I went to stop after we left, there was no front brake.
They slow you down, Dave.
Yeah,
That was another prank.
yeah, day 2 was waking up, even colder weather. It was like 29 degrees.
Oh yeah, that morning.
Dave had to have a new bike. We were on the motorcycles and it's snowing, right? In the second day. I mean, blizzard snow. The second day is not as eventful as the first day, other than the fact that it was painful the entire day because we rode on gravel roads. The idea of this second day was we went over a dam. We went, you know, a considerable distance, but it was all through, you know, snow and blizzard. I mean, seriously, some of the film.
Yeah, it was
Pure blizzard.
proper snow. Like, I mean, almost whiteout conditions when we lost you guys. We were going through mountains, and all of a sudden it was like coming down harder. And Sean and I were like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, but you guys are really happy you were in a car at this point.
Was that the day when we were riding back and we were like, and you guys had to stop to
Dude.
warm your hands up?
I was like, they wanted us to roll our windows down. They were
we
all
had to-
putting their hands in our truck and getting us all cold. I was
Yeah,
like,
We had our gloves were soaking wet because they were waterproof. But they're soaking wet, and we're hauling ass, you know, doing 60 miles an hour down the highway, and it's snowing. I mean,
your hands look like a
my hands were-
99-year-old woman.
My hands were frozen. Your hand, you still can't feel your
I still
hand.
got frostbite from that.
You
I mean,
do?
Yeah.
Dude, I finally was the one that cried first because I knew everybody else had to be hurt because I had heated grips. And so I'm going, I'm like, I can't feel my hands anymore. I can't move my hand. I can't feel the brake. This is about to get dangerous. So, you know, I just click in neutral real quick and just pull off because I couldn't feel anything. And that's when you pulled over and I was like, you got to take my gloves off my hands. I can't do it. And I warmed them up in your... Yeah, man. So then we get...
That's when we got in that crosswind. So we're in a blizzard. And
And it was like a 70-mile ride or something like that.
yeah, it was probably longer than that. Someone did the
We
math.
were behind
Yeah.
Dave, and I hate to sound cruel, but I was like, every time a wind would come from the side, I'd just like, Tyler, we made him record because like we're about to film someone's death.
You guys
It's
had
gonna
to
go viral.
You guys had to document this, man. I mean, this was, you know, part of the trip was you guys documenting it.
Oh yeah,
You know, the first 2 days were pretty hard.
we
on
got it all, man. The pictures are crazy.
Painful.
It looks painful.
Well, it was painful.
Well, someone did the math that day. I think it was 12 below with the
Oh yeah.
Wind chill.
The wind chill, yeah.
You add in being soaking wet, and it was definitely not ideal conditions for any sort of motorcycle ride.
No, and it's sleeting and snowing on the road, and it's starting to accumulate.
Dude, it was dangerous as fuck.
I think at one time we got down about 45 mile an hour just because, I mean, it was getting squirrely. The crosswind was pushing you off the road.
I hate riding motorcycles on the street in general, you know, because it's dangerous. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with
Oh,
other
yeah.
people. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Other people.
Yeah. Add in snow and sleet and cold weather, and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah. it
That those first 2 days broke me from wanting a motorcycle ride for a long time.
I took a nap.
We did stay that one night though. We got in. I think that was the first night we stayed at the
State Park.
state park.
Oh, that was cool. That was
Yeah.
a cool spot.
The one that they had on the pond and stuff
Yeah.
down there, and they had a cool little like a hamburger shop. Dave, that was that climbing area that we went to the first night. I don't remember.
There's a bunch of hipsters.
They have a climbing festival there every year. I just don't remember that. What was it? You don't remember the name of the hotel?
That
It
was
was
the state park.
it was a state park. I can't remember the name of the state park, but Dave, I remember you saying you were in the climbing industry before, so you were familiar with the place.
Yeah, it was. I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
Somewhere in Kentucky.
Whatever. So we get there again, night 2. This is when you do all your portraits. We go drink some beer, eat some hamburgers or something, and I'm pretty whooped. All of our gear is pretty
We were-
wet. and
We were,
trashed.
we were drying our boots with hair dryers.
And on lampshades.
yeah.
Yep. Hair dryers. We were all barring each other's shit, hanging it out back. I think that was the
So
first.
you know our room smelled fantastic.
Dude, your smelled awful.
Yeah.
It was what?
The climbing festival is called Rocktoberfest.
What is the name of the town that we were in?
I think it was Lexington.
No, it wasn't
No.
Lexington. No, it was
There's a
some,
little. I
some
keep
little
wanting to say
bumble.
Barren River, but Barren River is out to the east.
I can't, dude. I had all these.
It was in Red River Gorge, right?
I guess.
Sounds
Who
good.
knows? It
I
was
don't know.
It was
Anyways.
some gas station we were eating breakfast at again.
Yeah, so this night we're in this hotel. This is when the the best idea of the entire trip comes up. We're drinking scotch. We finally get a chance to decompress. Listening to some tunes on this thing. Pete's like, man, I'm going to go enter a hair scramble tomorrow. A hair scramble. So
A motorcycle race.
yeah, this is the third night we're there, and you want to go. We just happened to end up at a spot where there was a off-road motorcycle race.
Yeah.
A gathering.
How
of
did that
freaks.
happen?
I don't know. Tell me, how did it happen?
It just.
And what is
Tater
what is a
tot.
hair scramble?
Oh,
Well, a hair scramble is a off-road motorcycle race. The course is typically 10, 12 miles long, and they drop the white flag at the beginning. You run for an hour and a half, and whoever comes across first wins.
This is a young man's game there, buddy.
Young man's game. Yep. And so my son,
Pete, by the way, before you get in, how old are you? Because when we started this trip off, it was
He doesn't even know. He's
it was a
60-something.
man. I'm 60 some years old.
Man, he can outrun.
I'm in my 60s. So anyway, so my son called me and said, hey, you're going to be real close to Clay City, Kentucky. And he said, they got a race going on that weekend. So I said, well, I'll see what the guys, if they're interested, it's something different. And so that's how I said, hey, there's a race. It was 10 miles away.
I have no idea. It felt like a year away.
We just went back in time.
Well, everything was loaded in the trailer, so we didn't have to get up and ride that morning.
Trailers every day and every night and every morning, loading motorcycles and
Doing
gear and
maintenance
trailers.
and oh yeah. So we headed over to Clay City, and Corey Benton, an ex motorcycle racer, he decided to race with me,
Man.
and it was a lot. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. We were bystanders for this. We've been riding for 2.5 days through misery, and I get to sit here and watch you go ride this dirt bike race. You tried to do it on your street bike.
Yeah, that's when common sense prevailed.
Yeah, and so
For the first time.
Yeah, the first lap, I got to watch you eat shit on a concrete pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Go across rocks and stuff. I mean, dude, I got pictures of you just covered in mud, man. It was pretty gnarly
It
to watch.
was a lot. I mean, that's what my son and I did for years, and so it was fun to get back there, and we actually rode in the same class, just had fun, and I
he
think
beat your
Corey
ass.
Benton. Oh yeah, first time ever that he beat me, and he beat me. It wasn't like the motorcycle or I was wasn't feeling good that day. He just kicked my old ass. So good for him. It's about time, Matt.
Well, you did that, and we got the joy of getting on motorcycles all day long again after that. That day, the rest of the day
It was gorgeous.
gorgeous. It was the nicest day we had. I mean,
Sun came out. And
not
was
much
like
to say
70.
about that day other than if
the
every day
tweaker-
was like
the
that.
tweaker on the road.
If every day was like that day, it would have been like the Ewan McGregor trip.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
That would
that.
have been uninteresting.
Well, for you, I wouldn't have had
Visually,
to
it
go to
would
the
have been
hospital
lame.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Dave wouldn't have lost a motorcycle.
Well.
So the next 2 days, we stayed in another state park that night. It was pretty cool. It was like, it felt very, 1960s, Americana, Eagles,
Yeah.
Smokey the
that
Bear.
one was cool.
and- I don't remember what else we did in that place. I'm at a loss
We went
now.
to
I
stayed.
I
We went
stayed, I
to-
edited while you freaks went to some restaurant.
Good
with a
hamburger. That's
DJ.
that-
Yeah,
No,
that was
that-
a good
joint,
burger
yeah.
place.
No,
That's
that
right.
was the one at that park up top we came down.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about the
Where
following
did we
day.
go to that place? We went, dude, I can't even remember. I mean, it's all blending together.
Yeah.
Here I am telling a story.
It was like one long day of no eating and sleeping. That's why.
Yeah, we didn't eat, we didn't sleep, hardly any. We slept about 4 hours a night. Sean, you didn't eat at all.
Eating is is a sign of weakness.
It's Sean's favorite
I
trip.
hate eating.
Dude, we
No sleep, no
we-
eating.
we-
You don't need it.
let's skip ahead a little bit to I think it was like the second to last night. We went to eat at this place, and by the way, Kentucky. God bless you guys. I mean,
Hey, do you guys?
Maybe
know-
it's just the
hey,
places
if
we
you're
went.
From Kentucky,
Have you
answer
seen
me,
a-
give me a call. let me know. Do you guys have dumps there? Do people pick up trash, or does everyone just throw it out in their front lawn when you're done with stuff?
I think they just throw it out back.
Yeah.
Next to the horse tied up to the
Next to
tire.
the horse that's tied up.
Oh my God.
Dude.
But
Horrible.
no, because we ended, and then we have like a hour and a half drive.
Yeah. No, we ended at the right spot,
we
which ended up being the wrong spot, which
Yeah.
was actually the right spot.
We ended up at the right spot. It was the wrong spot.
We stopped the day 4. It was the right spot, and everybody, Pete was like, "It's the wrong spot. We got to go back down to Big Stone Gap or whatever." So we drove an hour to realize that we just drove an hour off the trail. Then we're gonna have to get up the next morning and drive an hour back up to right where we were at. So the spot we were at, Big Stone Gap, we went downtown at this place.
In Big Stone Gap, Virginia.
We don't need to call out names, but dude, they had a DJ with people trying to eat it.
Well, first of all, we were walking into a hotel, and this guy was like, "Man, like, if you want like some places real
They got some good steak,
he's like, "They got
man."
some good steak." He's like, "They're a little pricey.
A
They're a
little
little
upscale.
little upscale."
upscale.
Little
And we were
upscale.
like, "Perfect." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "That place is." He's like, "That's the spot to go." He's like, "We've been here working construction."
Been
So
here
we're like,
doing
"All right,
meth for a week."
done. Like, let's go." So we're all starving. We meet down there in the lobby. You didn't go. You were like, "Just give me a chicken
Whatever.
sandwich so I can
What
throw
you
it away."
didn't, what you didn't bring me.
He did.
No, we
They
did.
closed, didn't they?
No, that was
No.
the first. That was the first time.
Oh.
And so we go to this restaurant, and it feels like a truck stop bathroom. Like, it's like bright in there, and it's just like loud music playing.
It was
And
like one big picnic table.
Yeah, and it was just like one long table, and we sit down, and they've got a DJ with his speaker just on the floor.
Yeah, it's like a kit,
it's
like
just-
a DJ starter kit with the loudest speaker you've ever heard
And
in
he
your
was just
life.
playing the worst music. Well, it was probably good music, but it just sounded terrible.
We were just like, can we get out of here?
And then,
it made the whole thing feel like we were in the Twilight
but
Zone.
the upscale menu, I think the most expensive thing was like $9, and it was covered in cheese and butter.
Very healthy.
Corey like picked up your steak, and it just like oozed cheese and butter. I was like, oh.
I could just feel myself getting weaker by the hour on this trip to Kentucky. Pete doesn't eat. We didn't eat any lunches the entire time. I thought, hey man, at least we could have some beer and shit and decompress at night. We drank like one beer at night, one glass of whiskey or something,
Yeah, a couple beers, and that's all you had energy to do.
That's it. Wear the same clothes every freaking day for 6 straight days. Eat the worst food on the planet. To get basically all the way around Kentucky. We took some shortcuts. We had to cut off some of the pieces of the Kentucky Adventure Tour, the technical one.
right.
By the way, talk a little bit about that. Just where did you get this idea from? I know we've gone in circles now, but
It's actually happening all across America. Every state now is doing this. Florida has what they're calling the FATE, Florida Adventure Trail. So it's happening a lot because the off-road community, the older dirt bike riders, want someplace to go. And so I think here in Florida right now we have 800-900 miles looped together, starting in Pensacola.
is that a threat?
No,
At least
it's flat and
flat
warm.
And filled with sand.
Yeah, but it was I don't know, man. It was a fun trip. I'm glad that you guys stayed with it. But the off-road day one was pretty tough.
We ended up skipping a bunch of the off-road sections because we realized without planning and not knowing how much time the off-road sections were going to take, we couldn't get into them because we didn't want to be stuck out there in the middle of the night.
I mean, literally, we did 2 miles in 4 hours on day one. And so when you stuck your head in the woods, when we got to a hard section is what they're called, we'd go down a little bit. And it's like, yeah, it could clear up. We could be in here all night,
Well,
So,
the problem was we had PTSD from day one, the rest of the trip. You know what I mean? Like,
Dave, what do you think about that?
I mean, some of the trails too that we like kind of went on. I mean, there was that one that was basically just they had shut down for explosives.
Oh, going through the mine.
they're
Going through the mine.
He's like, y'all better get out of here. We're about to blow some dynamite. We're like, what? Where? Right here.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Where?
You can
Right.
watch from over
If
there,
you
right?
see that hut up there, yeah, right there.
We're about to blow that. We're sitting here in motorcycles. Pete's like, we're going to go on the trail anyways. And they go up over the damn.
Yeah, Corey Benton and I went and checked it out, and they had pushed enough logs and stuff because that is a public road. They're shooting dynamite on. So,
Well,
was
I think
like,
the reason we all signed up for this is because we all like torture, somewhat. You know, we like getting ourselves into sticky situations and then getting back out. That's why we did the Everglades. Well, I don't know if that's why you did the Everglades.
I do things because I'm with you.
Yeah, and you want to film it, shoot it.
I love, it's your idea, and I just like to go along with you.
Well, this was Pete's idea, but I think you were part of. You wanted to make it miserable as well, too, right?
yeah, I like the challenging part. I like watching people suffer.
Isn't that why everybody does anything outdoor? You know what I mean, like on motorcycles or paddle boards, adventure stuff.
I mean, it's uncomfortable riding a motorcycle on the street. Doing what we did, just multiplied it.
Well, I would highly recommend people try it, but if you try it, prepare. I think that's always the lesson that when we say never again with all
Or
this
just
shit.
have a different bike.
Yeah, just prepare
Don't
better.
have a
doesn't-
street
you
bike.
It doesn't matter, dude. You could have put them on the best bikes in the world.
And I would say too, bring the right group of people on that trail. Like we had a good group of people that like we were able to like deal with whatever came our way. But if you get the wrong group, it'd be really hard.
if you didn't have Pete and Logan, you're done.
Yeah, Logan, we can't say enough about him. Logistically, I mean, he followed us everywhere, made sure we had what we needed in the morning. I mean, he was great. We couldn't have done it without that.
I wouldn't have done it without having somebody follow us around,
Yeah,
unless it was all road,
yeah,
because it was pretty miserable. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We got back. I was happy to be done with that one. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah,
think Corey
we-
Benton was happy too. His
we were
motorcycle's
supposed to-
still sitting in the
And
shop.
we got to give it to Corey Benton. He did the whole thing and fell over twice, maybe.
We
And
counted one.
He never crashed. We all crashed.
Yeah.
Dave crashed every 5 minutes.
I crashed my bike at least 30 times. At least.
I think
Yeah,
that's
No,
under-
more than that, dude. 60.
That was day. That was
That
hour
was
one.
his
30
hour
was
3.
day one.
dude.
It was
brutal.
it was fun, but without this group, we couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just had to write. They're going to get through it no matter what.
It was fun, man. I'm glad we did it. There's a lot of analogies. I know it was the first one we did non-paddleboard. It was pretty damn cool, for this brand.
Yeah.
Let's go do another one. What are we doing?
Well, let's do that 800 miles right here at home
I'm in, man. When you want to do it? You see
this
it now.
weekend. This
This
weekend.
I
weekend.
No.
want to do the Everglades again with some of our new products. I want to do it again.
Do you do that? Do you do that
Something
trail in
else.
Florida on the same bike?
Yeah, I would.
Let's paddle to Cuba.
Well, and then what?
I don't know. Then ride motorcycles.
In Cuba.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up this one, man. I don't know if we did it justice. I think we lost the energy there at the end, talking about how crazy it was. Check out the video though. The video
will be.
will be
How's that
full
looking, Tyler?
full coverage. Yeah, Tyler's not even done.
Don't
yet.
ask
What is
questions.
happening?
Tyler's not even done. He's committing to things that he doesn't even know the answer to yet.
Corey was like, "Man, we're gonna make this badass 6-hour-long movie."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Sweet.
"Cool, sweet."
Here's the photos. Next.
That's how you work. See ya. Well, check it out. It should be live because this podcast is live, and if it doesn't go live, this podcast won't go live. So
Yeah.
that's how this works.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me, Dave. Thanks for joining us via technology, and especially being the entertainment of the trip. It was
Yeah, without you, it'd
comic
be way
relief.
too serious.
the comic relief.
Yes.
All right, boys. Thanks for joining again. Later.
Thank you. Bye.
See it.
Peace out.